Work it. I think we're good. Ready to rock and roll.
What's up, man?
Just trying to make sure I get everything. I haven't been live streaming in a while. Gotta make sure I get everything working again.
How are you doing?
Good, good. Good to see you. What's today? Happy Wednesday.
I know. If it doesn't. After the PGA show last week, I'm like zapped.
Yeah, I feel that. Did you guys have a good time in Orlando?
Oh, yeah, well, I live in Orlando, so
Okay.
yeah, about a 20-minute drive for me, which is super nice to.
Nice.
Dang it, this glare is like crappy. Let me move. I can't move out of there. I'm trying to figure out how to get this. I don't. So I don't really have a lot of space in my office because I have a full
Yeah.
simulator in my office.
Feeling so bad for you.
um. Yeah. So all right. Let me see here. I'm gonna try. Just don't want this glare. So I think I'm
All
gonna
good.
turn it off.
I get it. I have a new 4K camera, and I'm trying to figure out if it's better to me to have my lights on or off, just to get the right lighting.
Yeah, dude. It's crispy. It looks really nice.
I'm super happy. I'm actually headed to Phoenix or to the Waste Management next week.
Oh no way! I'll be there
Bring
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Try and link up, but
Yeah, I'd love to.
I've never been. It's my first time, so I bought this new Osmo Pocket 3 cam. I don't know if you're a big DJ
Yep.
guy.
I'm a big DJ guy. I have
Yeah.
phones, mics, you name it.
Yeah, so I bought that, invested in the channel because I interview a lot of PGA Tour caddies, or at least that's kind of where I got my start. I have kind of switched over to the YouTubers, but still want to do a lot of the pro side. But I'm gonna try and get some live in person stuff and see if I can get any of the players live to So now that I got the 4K camera, and then I've got I'm gonna go to the Good Good event while I'm out there too. So I'm gonna try and get a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
excited to use it for the first time because obviously in Michigan we can't golf a ton, and I haven't been recording a ton of like in-person stuff because it's cold in wintertime. So I've been just trying to focus on the interviews right now until we get through, kind of get back from Phoenix. But yeah, man, it's been cool. I'm excited to use it. And excited to go check out the Waste Management. I've never been. So
Yeah,
Arizona, so I'm excited.
same. It'll be also my first time, which is I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I'm going Tuesday and leaving Friday night, so I'm not staying for the whole weekend. I've heard people like you either show up Friday and you just party all weekend, which I'm not a partier, and or you come in Tuesday and you just stay till Friday and then you just bounce. So I was like, I'll do that route. And I have 2 kids, so
Yeah.
hard to leave the mom away on a weekend by herself.
Much respect to you. I know I don't have kids yet. I got married earlier this year, but my
Oh,
wife,
congrats!
thank you, man. My wife surprised me with the. So my birthday is the day after the Super Bowl, like that Monday.
Yeah.
So my wife surprised me with this trip, and I've always wanted to go because this trip always falls around my birthday. Never been able to, so she surprised me. So super excited to do. We fly in Wednesday morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're gonna go to the event. I think 1 or 2 days, but the other days we're gonna try to do some hiking and or golf.
Yeah.
My buddy's gonna come with me too, so we're excited to get out there.
That's so dope.
Respect to you for being the father and because I don't have kids yet, but I know when that day comes, you don't get as much free time, so I'm trying to enjoy it while I can,
It gets locked up real quick. I mean, dude, honestly, doing a startup and having kids is probably one of the like. My wife is putting down my 7-month-old right now. My daughter's 3 years old, and she has a heck of a swing, by the way. And like, I text her. I was like, I got an interview at 7.
Yeah.
I don't know if my daughter's gonna come up and wake you up with a baby, but good luck. I was like, I'm chicken nuggets in the oven. We'll get them when you come down. So, yeah. No, I appreciate the time, dude. Thanks for.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
I've seen your guys' app pop up. Obviously, Wedgies, who I follow.
Oh, yeah.
Just posted some stuff. So
Was just talking to Jacob, so.
yeah, I'm gonna link up with them, and I just trying to get them on the channel, get these interviews set up with those guys. I'm a big fan of those guys. Obviously, a big fan of the Bryan Bros. And I know they're trying to intermingle, but I guess as we get people funneling in, man, let's just start by introducing yourself a little bit to the people here on the channel. And
Yeah.
I know a little bit about the app, but talk to me a little bit about the app. The purpose behind it. When did you start? Kind of where the idea came from. Then we'll just kind of see where the conversation goes from there.
Absolutely, man. I'm actually setting up my live stream right now on Par 4. So I'm going to get that going and go live. Yeah, so I'll kind of tell you, there's a conversation I'd love to have in a little bit too. And I'm not sure if you've updated your app, but we just did a new update yesterday, so I don't know when you downloaded your app, but we did launch it. People can now heart your streams, so now you may be seeing hearts come up on your stream and stuff. But yeah, so all right, I'll give you the backstory. So we started Par 4 almost a year ago. I mean, literally a year ago. We started Par 4. And, I'm a big nerd. I've always watched Twitch. I play video games with my brothers. My older brother, Caleb, he's actually the head of design of Par 4. Me and him and my little brother grew up playing Counter-Strike and, what else, RuneScape and all that stuff. And so Twitch was engraved in our lives. And so, I've also been playing golf since I was about 7 years old as well. And the end of the day, what we're trying to do is build golf, right? We're trying to expand golf, but in a way that's never been done before, right? You have Twitch, you have live TikTok, you have live Instagram, but none of those things have tools that actually make me as a golfer want to keep playing or keep understanding why I'm streaming other than to make money, right? To generate money. which we want to get there at some point as we keep building par 4, but right now we're trying to build a structure and a foundation that is, we're listening to our users, right? We're listening to what people want, how they want it, interactions they wish they had on Twitch and Instagram, etc. And so the whole story came from my little brother, Ian. My parents kind of screwed up on that, Ethan and Ian, too close in names. And Ian one day texted me and was like, "Man, I wish he works in the healthcare industry and takes care of sick kids all day." And he was like charting, and he's like, "I wish I could just watch someone play golf." And I was like, "Okay, go on YouTube." And he's like, "No, I'm kind of tired of that. Like, I want to watch someone play golf." I was like, "Okay, turn on the Golf Network." He's like, "No, I want to watch someone play golf." I was like, "Let's FaceTime." So we ended up FaceTiming probably about eight holes, and so, but before my phone died, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, why doesn't this exist?" I've also been in tech since I was about 17. I've had the opportunity to work for Apple and BitPay and helped build Home Depot's app. So tech has been engraved in my life, my entire life. But also golf has too, since like I said, I've been playing since I was 7. And so now we have the opportunity to create something really freaking cool, which is live golf anytime, any place. So it's not just about being on the golf course. It's also doing podcasts, right? Doing unboxings, really trying to build a community that is built around what golf can do. It was funny. So today we were actually, I got sent a clip from somebody who was watching the Bryan Bros on Twitch. And they mentioned in the chat, "Hey, everyone's coming over to Par 4 to stream." And Wesley said, "Who? Like, who's coming over to stream? Yeah. What people?" And it's like, well, first off, Wesley, you're awesome at golf. You've done a great job at pioneering where golf has been on Twitch. But people are now starting to get into live streaming golf. YouTube golf has kind of started hitting that plateau, right? Where, it's the same content over and over and over again. And then we're starting to see where creators are wanting something unique. They want to connect with their people. And George brought up a really good point during the Twitch stream when I went back and watched it, which was, why are we trying to create something new when Twitch exists? Well, we exist because we have built-in scorecards. We have 42,000 scorecards built into the app. We have live yardage and GPS. So as I'm moving towards the green, my viewers can actually see the yardage from me to the green of the hole that I'm on. Yeah. We're also working on live shot tracing, which no app is able to do right now.
I was going to say, that was going to be a question of mine.
Yeah. With AI and LiDAR, which is really cool. And then we're working on gamification, betting. So you can actually bet on if people are going to make the putt or win the hole or win the match, and you get paid out in some sort of chip monetary that you can redeem for certain things, giveaways or prizes or whatever it may be. So I think, and I really value what both George and Wes said, because we're not trying to replace that. We have the option to also have stream keys inside of our app where you can actually stream to Twitch and to Par 4 simultaneously, right? But if you want a really in-depth digestion of that golf round, you go to Par 4 because we have the tools built in, integrated, ready for you to view, right? Yeah. That's kind of the gist of what we're building, why we're building it. We have a very small team. We have our marketing guy, Josh. We have our lead developer, Ashwin. Caleb, my older brother, which is the head of design. And then we have a few others that just help us out that have been amazing. Matt, Sassman, Ian, my little brother. And so, we're just a small team that is trying to make a very big impact in the way that golf is viewed and played. And I think we need that in the golf world right now, because we're watching the PGA broadcast numbers slowly tick away. And I think people want a new experience, and so that's what we're trying to bring.
No, I completely agree. I apologize. I've been trying to. It sounded like people in the chat couldn't hear me, so that's why I was looking. I wasn't ignoring you. I was just trying to make sure everything. I'm a one-man operation, so I'm trying to produce and talk. But no, I completely agree with you. And the reason I'm so interested is because, in my opinion, like for me, I come from the Twitch, like I love video games. I play Call of Duty. The PC that I'm streaming on right now. I was playing Call of Duty earlier today. Probably playing Fortnite when the new season comes out this week.
Heck yeah.
And so like it's so interesting you said, because like I come from that world. So the Twitch, the streaming is like such a huge part of my life. Like I grew up on video games and like watching YouTube, and that's kind of how I got my interest in YouTube golf and now in Twitch. And it's funny you say that. My guest that I'm dropping next week, or I recorded last night, we are talking about kind of the correlation between gaming and golf and kind of how that is all correlated. And it's super cool that now we're having this, conversation the day after kind of that conversation. I'm gonna be posting that video later today. So that's super cool that you guys have kind of said that. And like I said, that's kind of what drew me the interest in the app. And my question was gonna be like kind of around Twitch, because you kind of already had brought that up. But I, for one, think there's a huge untapped market in like golf live streaming. I think we've seen YouTube golf, like you mentioned, kind of grow, and I don't want to say it's peaked. I think we're going to continue to see YouTube golf grow. I think it's just a super saturated market right now, and I think people are getting sick of a lot of the ideas. But you see, like you mentioned, the Brian Bros, stream on Twitch. I know we've seen Buster Jack go into like a live streaming. I think the live streaming where you can bring golf directly to the viewer itself is a huge, powerful tool. And if you can find an app that can do not everything a PGA Tour broadcast can do, because there's issues with the PGA Tour broadcast. We can have a whole conversation about that, but it's cool to hear like you have like the shot tracers, the scorecards, the stuff that I think the viewer can engage with, which is super cool to hear. And like I said, it's super interesting, because I really feel like that golf live streaming, I think there's a lot of untapped potential there. I would love to do it because it's easy to just fire it up on your phone and you have kind of the setup right there. You don't need the big expensive camera. You don't need the Bluetooth high-tech microphone, because there's a huge barrier to entry in that market in the YouTube golf space, because if you want to do anything, you got to spend $6K on a camera, versus if in a live stream, yes, you want the higher quality, but most phones have a 4K camera. If you can fire up your phone, boom, voila, you got basically a broadcast in the your pocket, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about I guess what your plan is. Are you guys looking to build out exclusive creators? Are you talking with anyone? I know you obviously, you have people who stream on the app now, but I guess what does that look like? Are you guys looking to grow your creator side? I know you have the creator hub on the app. So just talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we have the Creator Clubhouse, and the Creator Clubhouse is almost partnered the Twitch mentality. And so, we've introduced a lot of creators within inside of that. I think a total reach of almost 650,000 that we have within side of our current creators who stream multiple times a week. Love what we're doing, who just want to get on the ground of what we're doing, right? And that foundation that we are building. We were lucky enough to go play with Grant Horvat, Wes Patterson. He's one of our advisors on Par 4, invited us out. I drove down to Jupiter, called me one night, and I said, I'll be up at 4 a.m. I drove down, got to play with Horvat. Super awesome dude. Got to play with Henry Garillo as well. He was with Horvat, and I mean, they loved it. They loved the app. They're like, this is so cool. Horvat has also said that multiple times he wanted to start looking into streaming. I mean, how cool would it be if I got to watch this 2v2 matchup between him and the people he's playing with? I want to watch that live, right? I want to watch the match live, but at a more personal level. And so we've talked to Horvat, we've talked to Carter, DoD King. We've had conversations, or we're trying to have conversation with the Brian Bros. We've had conversations with their manager, but I think having those personal conversations to kind of show them my heart, my passion, why I'm building this. I'm not trying to build this to get rich quick. Right. I'm building this because I love the game of golf and I love tech, and I want to watch this explode in ways that my 3-year-old daughter could one day be using this app to maybe get an NIL deal, right? Yeah. So I think we're seeing golf, our untapped market that I want to start getting into are these golfers in college and in high school, because it's no longer about how you play, it's your brand, it's your personality. That is now a whole new world because of social media that has brought that to light. So I think that's a big market that we want to attach, we want to focus on, because they are the true creators behind what we're doing at Par 4, which is super cool. And so, yeah, we're focusing on that. But then the other side that we have, which is super exciting, is our tournaments. So we just launched a tournament feature where it was funny, you mentioned the word PGA broadcast. You can actually build your own PGA broadcast within Par 4. So what we do is we have a tournament banner. You select that banner. Once you get into that banner, it then shows all the live streams that are associated with that tournament, and then you have a live leaderboard that updates automatically within seconds. So people, mini tours, charity events, anybody can now host a live broadcasting tournament for 1/100th of the cost that someone would come out and do a live broadcast for you, i.e., the Good Open. They pay a lot. Now, granted, it's a beautiful broadcast. It's a beautiful way to do it. But let me feel close and personal to that creator or to that golfer. And this kind of, you mentioned it. I now have a one-on-one connection where I can be like, "What's up?" And then Horvat says my name, right? Like that
feeling.
Yeah.
Like a streamer, right? I know you get it. Like whoever you watch, like for me, it was like a Ninja or a Tfue or whoever. Like even the older guys or the newer guys now. So I can understand that, right?
Yeah. We got to actually. Funny you mentioned that. We got to hang out with Nadeshot and Daltouche in LA, and that was when we first launched. Gosh, what was that? Back in August, maybe.
Yeah.
And so we got to go hang out with them, and it was cool because they were like, I get it. Like, I'm a streamer, and I also golf, and I see the worlds colliding, right?
Yeah.
And I love your thought about accessibility. Like, not anyone can just go out and buy a $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 backpack that allows me to stream on Twitch on the golf course, right? But what we do know is everybody has a phone. Everybody is able to stream from a device instantly. And like I said, it's not like, it's not like we're expecting super high quality production. We're just wanting people to play and to do simulator challenges and podcast and box openings. We have people who come on and stream on Twitch after the TGL just to talk about it, right?
I do that too. Like it's a lot. It's like anything like you mentioned, like it's all about building your personal brand and like however you can do that, whatever you can find in this is the beauty of the content space, and the reason why I love doing this is like you can do whatever you want. Like you can live stream, like you can do a watch party, you can do a reaction show or whatever. It's like whatever you can do as a creator and be creative to draw eyes to your channel or your Instagram or your Twitch stream, whatever that may be. Like whatever you got to do to get people there, and you're getting people there. That's the angle, which is the super cool part of it. It's funny you mentioned. I was playing Call of Duty on Friday night, and I don't know if you know Sploosh. Do you know who Sploosh is at all?
Absolutely.
So I frequent myself in Sploosh's stream. So you know what I'm talking about. I recorded with him last night, and so I don't know if you know this, but he lives with Garrett and Blake from Good.
Oh, okay.
So on his stream, he had Grant, and Grant was like on Twitch, and so this is at least my first experience with Grant being on Twitch, and so. He was playing on Sploosh's setup, and so I got in. I was actually running some Call of Duty with Grant. He's a gamer, so it's ironically enough, like not many people know that. Like Grant was talking about how much he loved streaming. Like he was like, "This is so cool, like playing Call of Duty." And then from my perspective, like I'm sitting in this very setup that I am right now on the other monitor that I have, not this one that I'm recording on, but I'm watching myself play with Grant Horvat, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And like I know he's into streaming, so. I think what's super cool, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Me and Sploosh talked about it last night. Is like I really find that there's a huge correlation between gaming and golf. It seems like from a creator perspective, a lot of like golfers, their escape is gaming, and then a lot of these streamers like a Nadeshot or a Symphony or whoever, Tim the Tent Man, are now going to golf and their escape. And it seems like there's worlds colliding. So do you think there's a huge correlation there? And I guess. Where do you see that kind of going over these next few years as like social media and golf and all this stuff kind of these worlds collide?
Yeah, I mean, first off, look at COVID. COVID, I think, changed a lot of people on what golf is for and who it's for. I think we see a massive spike. I mean, I got to play with two female creators at Four Seasons a couple of days ago, and they both started during COVID, right? The number one question you probably ask people now, and when you go to walk into a PGA store or heck, a Top Golf, they're like, when did you start? And it's like COVID. There's nothing else to do, but it was escape for everybody, right? And I think we're starting to see that. I mean, look, Nade Shot is at the Good Classic this year, and he's on, I forget whose team, but it's like, yeah, Garrett's team, and it's like, that's freaking cool because I think we're starting to see that they cross over because they are the same. It's a competitive area. It's something that does take skill. I will argue someone all day long on that, right? Like, and games take skill. I've started playing Marvel Rivals, and I'm like, I'm good at Iron Man. I'm going to stay Iron Man. And actually, our whole team plays. It's kind of cool. Like, we literally get on at night, and we'll literally play Marvel Rivals. And sometimes we'll talk about work, and other times we're just playing video games.
Yeah,
But and I think that we're seeing a massive correlation to that. But I also, to kind of bring in another point, I think we're seeing content creators who do just static content realize how important Twitch is to the gaming community, and I think that's where they're seeing something like hopefully Par 4 comes in and helps understand to not replace it, but truly add on to this community of golf. And so I think there's a massive correlation between all three of those things, which is just live streaming, games, and golf. And I think they're over the next couple of years, especially the younger generation who is gaming all the time, there's going to be a massive correlation between those three as we continue to grow.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's crazy, and it's cool to see, you know, where the world of golf is going. Like you said, COVID has been such a boom. Like I grew up playing golf. You know, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to do in the world. But the amount of friends I have, or the amount of people that I've met just playing golf through COVID, like that summer, you know, that was the summer before I met my now wife, you know, then girlfriend. So played a lot of golf that summer, met a lot of cool people. But
That's awesome.
like, the thing I love about it is you never know who you're going to meet. Like the Twitch community, or like, you know, even just the gaming community in general. Like I met Sploosh through a Twitch stream. Like
That's awesome.
I've met Blake Mullen through a Twitch stream, and these are people who I'm not talking with, I'm having on my show. And like I think you can see like kind of the market there. Like you said, with Par 4, there's a ton of untapped potential where you never know who you could meet in a golf stream now that you have kind of that accessibility. Talk to me a little bit about, I know you mentioned you're just at the PGA show. I guess, what are your plans on, like, where can people find you? I know you guys have the website and the app, but like, are you guys going to be doing a lot of trade shows? What does that look like from your end?
Yeah, so one thing we're going to focus on is the tournament aspect, right? We think we can bring a lot of validity to the mini tour world, the member world, the member guest world, charity events. Like that's where our big focus is going to be. So we're not going, you know, we don't go out and sponsor holes. We don't go out and sponsor events. You know, we want people to be able to come and use our technology and do their entire event, right? Because it brings three things to life for that tournament. Number one, it brings legitimacy and honesty. So the guy who walks in with sandals and looks like he never played golf in his life and shot a 42, I go back and watch his live stream and be like, that doesn't match up with your score, right? So it brings that piece of it, which I think a lot of tournaments are starting to give bigger cash prizes. They want that, right? Number two, it brings sponsorships into play. So I'm able to now say, hey, sponsorship, you're not just being seen on the golf course, you're now being broadcasted to an entire community of thousands of people, right? And then number three, I now get to choose who I want to watch. So again, I love watching the PGA, but give me the opportunity of who I want to watch. So my stepbrother, for example, he's on the PGA Tour. His name is Anders Albertson. And I never get to watch him. I only get to watch his shot trace, and it refreshes every 5 minutes. And I'm like, no, I want to watch him. Number one, because he's my stepbrother. He's awesome. But number two, we sponsor his bag, so I want to see our logo on the bag.
Right.
I think there's, you know, a really cool piece to that. So that's what we're focusing on. And yeah, I mean, like, we bought par4.com, which was an incredible asset to us. The whole idea behind Par 4, by the way, is that it is the most average hole on a golf course, and anyone can play a Par 4, a beginner and a pro. So it's exclusive to everybody who plays golf. It doesn't matter what skill level, where you're at, and that's the whole idea behind Par 4. It's just not just a cool name we chose. Like, has a lot of meaning behind it and what we stand for as we can, you know, continue to grow this product. we want to focus on things like that. So to date, we've raised about $1.1 million in seed money, or excuse me, in safe money. And then as we keep growing, we'll continue to do a raise, and we're talking to some really awesome people about that and what that looks like. And we want to grow the team, we want to grow our influencer platform, and we want to be able to be at big tournaments and big shows. At PGA, I just walked around this year. We didn't have a booth, we had nothing. It was just me and 30,000 steps a day later. So it was awesome. I got to connect with people I never thought I would meet, and also just people that I've always wanted to meet, and so I think we're working with Jake Hutt right now from Drivebox on a really cool simulator event that can be held across the entire United States. And so that's going to be a really cool thing we're working on. Can't give too much details yet. We're finalizing some things, but I think that'll be our big splash as to what our technology can do, where you could literally be in a simulator and compete against somebody across the entire country and see them live on the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you, obviously with, here in Michigan locally, there's a ton of simulators because we only golf 7 months out of the year because we live in the cold state. But we've seen a grow in these big money simulator leagues. There's one here in Michigan. I forget what their name is. They're out of Rochester. But have you had any talks with these simulator leagues or anything like that where to live stream a broadcast to get more audience out to because I think J&A Golf did a video out of with this league out in Rochester, and they're playing for $150,000, which I think they're actually at the PGA show. Which, if you know how I think it's Golf Zone or something. I don't know, but have you had any talks like that to broadcast stuff like that where you can get these live events for these big money events? Yeah,
so we actually just did one in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They have a league event over there, and I think tomorrow night. What's the date? Yeah, tomorrow night they'll actually be streaming. And so we want to start getting into these events, and that's why we kind of talked to Jake Hutt about this. Is cool. Let's showcase the technology in a Drivebox, which is a mobile simulator, and then we're gonna hopefully start talking. Once the word gets out, where it's hey, people can now watch you, but also it's not just about the golf. It's about, hang on, wait, I remember that one time I went to Savannah, Georgia. They had a golf simulator. It's raining. I'm going to hit up them, right? So it's free advertisement for these simulator bars, as well as I get to watch a league. I want to follow along with a league, and I want to follow along with these people in there. And I think that could be really, really, really interesting. So, that's our goal, is to start slowly introducing our tech to simulator bars or even private sims as well, instruction for those simulators. So like I said, we have a stream key where I can actually stream. So this is what this guy is back here. This is my camera, and then it's facing my simulator, and then I can actually use a OBS or something similar to that streaming service and tap into it and then stream it from Par 4.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I think it's super cool. I think, even for example, there was the Liv did an event with at the Grass Clippings League the other day, and I don't know if that was live streamed at all, but even stuff like that, I just feel there's so much untapped potential with anything you can do with just the technology now that it's literally, like you said, everyone has a phone, and if you have the opportunity to do stuff like that, it's super cool. I guess talk to me. I know you mentioned a little bit about podcasting and getting stuff like that. I guess, what does that look like from the Par 4 side? Is it similar to a YouTube where it's video, or is it more of just a live streaming where it's just another way for somebody let's say myself, to just live stream a broadcast that I'm doing on YouTube simultaneously, like you mentioned, or I know you can do Twitch and Par 4 and simultaneously. I guess, what would that look like from a podcasting perspective?
Yeah, so from a podcasting perspective, it's kind of like what we're doing now, which is I'm doing the podcast with you. I have my stream open, and maybe I might get a question or two while I'm doing that, right? So it's almost like they're seeing the live Raw event, and then they'll be able to go back and kind of see the actual view of and sound of it. So I kind of see it happening there, and then as we kind of get more podcast on, I'd like to tailor that experience for them, yourself, and really try to understand. It's okay, what do you need to be able to record here, but also to stream to Par 4 simultaneously, where you can have these conversations, but you're also interacting with chat, who then gets to hear kind of what you're seeing here, so we can then be like, right now, Overswing Golf is in my par four live, and it's like super cool. Evening gent sounds cool, so he's interacting while we're talking, and now that gives a whole new perspective of the conversation we're having. Hey, oversight, and so it's super cool to have that experience where now it's more than just what we're featuring with inside of just in par four. Now we have that experience to expand on it bigger.
For sure. That's awesome, man. Well, I have some rapid fire questions I like to
Yeah.
ask all my guests, but before we do that, before I like to keep these about 45 minutes generally, but anything else you'd like to discuss around the app, any question I didn't ask, feel free to talk about whatever. Obviously, we are live. You can, talk about if there's anything that I didn't get to or any question or any feature you feel like I didn't really, give you a chance to elaborate on. Please feel free to do so while we're live, and then we'll do some rapid fires, and then I'll let you get back to your sleeping child. I don't want you to get in trouble with your wife today.
No, dude. First off, thanks for having me on and to talk to you. I'm super excited to watch more of these, from your podcast and also from a par four perspective. No, we did just a big update. Actually, went out yesterday. And that update is around just really focusing in on our creators and our viewers and how they interact with the stream. So now, if people are watching you and you have the newest update out, they can actually double tap on your screen and they can see hearts pop up. And so it feels like a very interactive piece to the stream now. A bunch of hearts are being sent in my in my chat as we talk them up to 577 hearts. So it just kind of adds some fun to it. And then, I think you now can add a scorecard during the stream, and you can add now players during the stream as well. So if you forget, and then you can edit your stream details. So you're like, crap, I picked the wrong course, or whatever. You now can do all of that without ending your stream. So we're really trying to tailor that experience to make it seamless, easy. We've always said something me and my brothers always joke around about: if my mom can use it, then it is a good app, and it is very UI friendly. And a big shout out to our team for honestly making this thing a reality. I'm just the face. I'm just the spokesperson. These guys really do bring it, guys and girls. We have Nicole as well on our team, and they have brought just tremendous expertise and beauty behind the vision that we have and really executing it. So just a massive shout out to my team, because I literally couldn't do it without them.
I love that you give appreciation to people who maybe are a little bit behind the scenes. Obviously it's more than just a one-man operation, so it's cool to see that you obviously believe a lot in your technology, and you're showing appreciation to people who are getting up and running. From somebody who's not a tech person, like I'm very much a salesperson. I'm not a huge tech guy. Sometimes I can barely turn on a laptop, so I can appreciate you when you say, if your mom can use it, it's a good app. And so my rapid fires are: we'll start with favorite golf course.
Oh, favorite golf course. Favorite golf course I've played, or favorite golf course in general?
Favorite golf course you've played.
I would honestly Sweetens Cove out in Tennessee.
Yeah.
It was challenging, but it was just the fact that I could play sun up to sundown for one price, and I could just keep going. I went out with my brother and some friends. Probably some of the funnest golf I've ever played in my life, because we got to play different types of golf, how we played it, and we were just like, how many more holes can we get before the sun goes down? And I just love the golf course. It's such a freaking cool experience. So yeah, Sweeten Cove's all day long.
Yeah, I've heard, man. So I did my bachelor party in Nashville, and we were I was trying to make it work so we can get down there, but unfortunately I didn't get to go. So I'm jealous. I've heard good things. I want to get down there at some point because it looks awesome, like you said. For true sickos who want to get as many holes in the day, right? Sun up to sundown. I will get there at sun up, and they'll have to drag me off the golf course. What about the nicest golf course? I always say most prestigious golf course that you've ever played.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Very cool.
What the most prestigious golf course you've ever played?
Most prestigious golf course I've ever played. Bay Hill. I've played Bay Hill quite a few times. We have some of our investors over there, members. Lake Nona. And then my wife and I went to Scotland about a year ago, and we got to walk across the St. Andrews Bridge. Did not get to
Nice.
play it. But my goal is to go back this year and play the old course. So my last name is Andrews, so it's like I feel like I have to. Uh,
Have
but
you are you gonna do anything for Bay Hill? Like, have you had any talks with maybe like PGA Tour or anything, like on going to doing something at the event, or like are you guys
no,
gonna be at the event at all here in a few weeks?
yeah, we'll be there. I live about 15 minutes away from there, so it's hard not to go.
Yeah,
But our goal one day is to hopefully talk to Live and PGA and some other tours, Epson tours like that. Like we would love to be the idea of what it looks like to be behind the scenes, right, on the driving range, at the putting green, like give people that experience that they can't, whether they can't come physically or they can't be there in any different kind of way. We want to give them that behind the scenes access. So that would be a really cool opportunity to hopefully one day get in with Live or
yeah.
PGA.
What about who's your favorite golfer?
Oh, I have two right now that I really like. Minwoo Lee. I like Minwoo Lee a lot.
Yeah,
He's just he's a nerd, but he's also super freaking cool. And I just love his brand. I love his aesthetic. Like everything is again just one of my favorites right now. And then I have to say I'm a pretty big Bryson DeChambeau guy. I think he's changed a lot in the last couple years. I think he's created content that has changed golf too, in the way that he produces content. I think he's held himself to a really higher and better standard. And I really love what he stands for in the tech and the golf community. I mean, he is so involved in so many tech startups in golf.
yep,
3D printed clubs, right? Like the only person on tour to do that. So
yeah,
I just love the way he thinks about innovation and creation within side of golf, and that's something I'm very passionate about. And so it kind of speaks to him as a golfer too. At the same,
yeah. No, for sure. I mean, he's changed the content game, man. I mean, you've seen what he's done on YouTube. I mean, you have Grant. I feel like the top two are obviously. I mean, you have good, but in general, like solo creators, you have Grant and Bryson, and like I feel like they were pretty equivalent in the subscriber count. And then this year, I mean, you obviously have Bryson with the Trump video or Bryson with whatever the Breaking 50 series. Like Bryson's kind of changed the game in terms of YouTube golf. That's a conversation you need to have. If you can get, if you ever get that, get Bryson on par four. That would be big.
it would be game changer, and we are working on something right now. So
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
We won't ask you to reveal anything. What about? I have some gaming questions. Who's your favorite Twitch streamer?
Nate Shot. I think Nate Shot is just like I love how honest, like just he's honest. He's just open.
Yeah.
He
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
give a crap what people think about him, and he plays good games. Like I've seen him play the Counter Strikes. I've seen him play the Valorants.
Yeah.
Now he's on Marvel Rivals. I literally will have that like just put up on my TV
Yeah.
during work. But I also love that he loves golf, so that kind of
Yeah.
intrigues me a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say Nate Shot 100%.
Favorite video game ever and why?
RuneScape. Without a doubt, I
Okay.
can answer that with a flat line. RuneScape. I played RuneScape old school back in 2000. I wish my brother was in the chat right now. I could confirm. 2010, 2009, maybe even earlier than that, like
Yeah.
2007. We played all my life, and it taught me how to barter. It taught me
Yeah.
economics. It taught me more than school taught me, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Skills, what I wanted to work on, why I'm working on it. Yeah, so RuneScape all day through and through. It's the most nerdiest
Oh yeah.
click game you'll ever play, but it's so nostalgic for me. It's what I grew on. I remember downloading it on my Mac. MacBook G4 way back in the day. I think iBook G4 or something like that. And yeah, I remember having it, and I would skip homework just to play RuneScape. I'd go to the library to play RuneScape. Like it was life for me. But it truly did teach me a lot about just economics, business, how I do things, how I talk. Not that deep, but yeah, it had a massive impact on my life, and so RuneScape for life.
Love that. What about your golf game? How's your golf game? I guess I always ask what's the gin, but I guess what do you play to when you're playing?
Yeah, I'm at 8.8 handicap right now.
Okay.
I went from a 10.9 to an 8.8 over the last couple months. I just got a TrackMan IO installed in my home.
Nice.
And so I have, like, when my kids go to bed, I just play golf. Like, I probably
So cool.
I probably play golf every single night for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then I'm a member over here at Four Seasons in Orlando. So if you're ever down here and want to go play some
Yeah. Oh,
golf,
absolutely.
it's a private course, so I can go out at 2 or 3 o'clock, and I'm the only person on the course, so I can sit there and just hit how I want to hit when I want to hit. We don't have tee times. I don't have to be ever partnered with anybody. I just
Yeah.
go. So I play too much golf, my wife would say, but now I get to do it for a living, right?
Yeah.
In a sense. But yeah, I'm very much addicted. Got fitted for the Mizuno's last year. The I forget what version they are. But I got the LA golf shafts on them, and
Nice.
they're awesome. And now I'm contemplating if I want to go to a lab putter. I've been a Scotty Cameron groupie my entire life. I love Scotty Camerons, and
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, I don't know. Do I go to a lab putter? Oh, he's about to whip out the lab. Is it
It's
Oz?
a lab. No, it's an Oz. So
Yeah.
yeah, I got mine. So I had their CEO on. We recorded it in December and dropped it in December. But
That's awesome.
I recorded with their CEO and he was super cool. So he hooked us up, me and my buddy up. He hooked me up with an Oz and
Dang.
my buddy a DF3. I don't know if I should say this live because I want to do a video on that Oz itself, but they just sent me a DF3 today because I like the Oz, but I love the DF3. Like
Dang.
and like dude, it's crazy because I never thought I'd like a lab. Like before I had their CEO on, I was like, these things are ugly. Like why the hell would I ever fucking use this? Like this is stupid. Like why would I ever use this saucer? And then I started rolling this. So ironically enough, they built a PGA superstore about 20 minutes from my house. So I went over there, checked them out because when he agreed, I was like, okay, I got to do my product research. So I got to go roll some putters. So I was rolling it, and I was like, man, this is really really nice. And he didn't sell me on the product when I interviewed him, but he was basically like, yeah, like try it. Like I'll send you, free putter. I was like,
Wow.
okay, awesome. And so now like I'm a firm believer in lab. Like, I'll give him a shameless plug. I love the DF3. I like the Oz, but the DF3, man, I'm telling you, it's an absolute game changer. I love it. I can't wait to get my custom one. They just sent it to me today. I think it's going to ship out hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully I get it before I go to Arizona. But yeah, I would highly recommend it if you're thinking about it. I firm endorser. I played it with Scratch, obviously Scratch Golf Show. That's where the name comes from.
Yep.
And so I'm a big endorser of their products. One question I did have for you because you had brought it up, and before I let you go, obviously we're live, and so it can adapt on the fly. So for your club down there, like, would they be okay with you like live streaming on Par 4, and then like, I guess, do you see that as like maybe I don't want to say a barrier to entry, but
Yeah.
given the stigma around golf, like the country club or whatever, like given how social media has changed golf, like one, I guess, do you see like would you be able to do that, and then do you see like that as being like an issue or something that you would have to maybe overcome in certain like country clubs or whatever if
Oh,
if
yeah.
users are members at a club?
Yeah, I think we're gonna run into that issue. Thankfully, I'm very tight with my I'm pretty tight with my head pro.
Yeah.
I went up to him literally a couple weeks after he created Part 4, and I was like, "Hey, here's what I'm building. Here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be live streaming." And he's like, "All right, cool." Like, And I think he was like, "This is a cool concept. I love it. If you need anything from us to support, it's like that. That is awesome. That's the country club
Yeah.
one." But I do see us running into a lot of that. I know that we're not allowed to stream at PGA events, right? Like I can't follow around my stepbrother and go watch him and film him play. That's technically not allowed. But when it comes to country clubs in itself, I'm hoping that we can kind of warm up to them where it's like, hey, we could broadcast your member. Hey, we could broadcast your member guest.
Right.
we can broadcast your Ryder Cup, like whatever it may be.
Right.
So I think if we align with them to not be, we're coming in and we're trying to disrupt and change golf forever. It's like as long as we don't have that mentality and we're willing to work with them with, their set rules and boundaries and be respectful about it. Because I mean, golf is a gentleman's sport, and it is a respected sport. And I think if we keep some of that with some of these high end country clubs, I think we're not going to see a lot of pushback. Yeah, it's very interesting to see that realm and where I think that will go as we start changing over time, because we can actually collect the data that streamers are at golf courses and actually go back to golf courses and be like, oh, hey, by the way, 1,000 streamers on par 4 ended up in this location all year round. You should probably do more maintenance there, right? So we could provide data to better the course and better the environment, and I think that would be a win-win situation for a lot of high-end country clubs.
No, I agree. I think like a lot of the stigma around like the content creation of the YouTube stuff is like, I guess maybe from the people who don't understand it, and like it slows play down because you have this big production, right? And obviously, if you're a high-end production streamer, you have that equipment, but like from your perspective, like it's much easier to go live on your phone and live stream versus bringing a giant camera crew out. Now you got 2 or 3 camera guys because you have got to have different shots, and I feel like from that perspective, it's not as much of a, I don't want to say disruption to the golf course, right? And that per se, it's like you're live streaming on an app versus having a high production quality video where you're trying to shoot. You don't want to hold people up. I feel like it's much easier to move it along, if you're versus live streaming versus trying to record a video from that perspective.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, other than that, Ethan, man, that was all I have for you. I guess one other thing I did want to say was, you mentioned you're in Orlando. Me and my partner are going to try and get down to Sawgrass for the players.
Oh, heck yeah.
So if you're around, we'll definitely take you up. We can live stream a match.
Yeah.
We can do something around you. I assume we'd fly into Orlando. I haven't looked at the details, and I haven't told my wife.
Yeah,
She's not going to watch this, so we're good. If that happens, definitely. Obviously, we can try and link up next week in Arizona, but we'd love to link up if I get to Orlando. Like I said, definitely would love to do some live streaming along the course. I think it's a super cool concept what you guys are doing. If you guys are watching this live, appreciate you guys hanging out. If you're watching this later, we're going to link everything in the description. Check out Par 4. We'll link all their socials in the description. Make sure you guys check them out. Other than that, Ethan, really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you joining us. Look forward to doing some more stuff with you guys. I think it's a super cool concept. So thank you for jumping on tonight.
Dude, Marco, thank you for having us. Thank you for chatting about Par 4, and excited to hopefully come back on here at a later date and talk about all the amazing streamers and golf that we've been able to build for the community. So.
Oh, yeah, man. All right, guys, that's it.